back at you. Yeah. Y'all subscribe to Danny Savage. Yes, sir. YouTubeville. Y'all get y'all stuff done. I've been watching a lot of his draft videos, so it's always in my head. No, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Cowboys Corner. This is another special edition of Talking Crazy on the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys. We got Danny Savage in here. We got Eshaun in here. We got a lot to talk about. Cowboys coming off a win. Cowboys coming in to the Carolina Panthers to play these guys at 12 o'clock noon Central. Danny Savage, what's up, man?
Nothing, chilling. Watching South Florida and North Texas go at it.
There you go. Who's winning?
South Florida's winning 49-28. There's a minute left in the third quarter. Okay. And then Rutgers and Washington's playing. And then Colorado State and Fresno State's also playing tonight. So I'll jump over to those quick.
There you go. Eshaun, what's up, dude?
I'm good, man. How is everyone doing, man?
Good. Everybody's good. Everything's good. Look, we're going to start this baby off hot. Cowboys, in the last 3 weeks, lost one, tied one, win one.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Savage, when you see that, the last 3 games has been a loss, a tie, and a win. What's your reaction to that?
A young team. Not a lot. I mean, up and down. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's tough, man. I still can't get that Chicago game out of my head, man. We made Caleb Williams look like he was back at USC, you know, and I'm just afraid. I mean, not afraid, but I'm just saying, it always seems that someone goes off against us. And I just think that after that Chicago game, I don't think we can overlook anyone anymore. So should we beat them? Yeah. But the last 3 weeks up and down like that, were we overlooking Chicago? I mean, I don't think we can overlook anyone.
Right.
Just
right. We got Mike on the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys. On this another special edition of Talking Crazy on a Friday. Eshaun, last 3 weeks, lost, tie, win. What's your reaction?
This is typical Cowboys for me, man. I mean, inconsistency, if I were to just describe it in one word, this is typical for the Cowboys, man. Let's be completely honest. This is nothing new. Even the Bears lost, man. We have a history of losing to teams we should beat. I mean, it happens, you know, at least in recent memory, it's happened quite a few years, man. So, I mean, you know, I guess the tie is the only thing that would be new. But in general, man, the Cowboys playing inconsistent should not really surprise anybody if you've been paying attention. It doesn't surprise me, at least. So
Agreed.
There you go. We got fifth quarter Cowboys on the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys. What up, fifth on this special edition?
What's happening?
Fifth? What it do?
What's happening
What's up, Fitz?
What up? I love your profile picture, Preacher Fifth.
Yeah, man.
So, Mike, the question goes to you, then we'll hit up fifth quarter Cowboys. The last 3 games, loss, tie, win. What's your reaction to that?
You know, I really like what I've been seeing from Dak in this offense, but I've said many times this defense is just a huge concern. And I worry that later on in the season when we play much better teams like the Lions, for example, I worry that we could lose that game because of the defense just allowing play after play. You know, I do like how this offense has been playing, but this defense is still atrocious, and I worry that we might lose games because of this defense. And it's like Eshaun said, the tie is new, but it's the same thing. But it's pretty much the same thing, you know, that we've seen every year. And even if this team is somewhat decent, we're not making it past the first or second round of the playoffs, regardless of what happens. So that's just my take on it.
There it is. We got Cowboys champs in the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys on this Friday edition. Fifth quarter Cowboys. First 3 games, or the last 3 games, excuse me. Lost, tie, win. What's your reaction to that?
I think it just kind of shows how up and down the NFL can be, man. I'm not gonna put too much stock in as far as like it being like all negative for the Cowboys because man, any given Sunday, man, but
It's gonna happen.
I just think that you never know, man. The tie game, that was tough. I just think, man, it's up and down as far as play. And if you're inconsistent, that's what you're gonna get. If you're inconsistent, if everybody ain't on the same accord, once you see what happened when you get a little pass rush up front, you're not beat as bad over the top as you saw last week against whoever we beat last week. I forgot.
Jets.
Yeah.
Of the Jets.
And I'm not gonna say, oh, it was just the Jets, man. Nah, man, that's a damn team. That's an NFL team. You still gotta go out there and be productive. You still gotta go out there and look like some. Regardless of who it was, Dak Prescott still made impressive throws. It didn't matter who he was. He still made impressive throws. And you want that from your quarterback. You can look at that game, as preparing for a better game, a confidence builder or whatever. But I just don't put a lot of stock into its meaning much, man. I just feel like it's ups and downs in the NFL, and hopefully we can have more ups going forward this year.
There it is right there. Preacher Fifth on the corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Cowboys champs. Loss, tie, win. Last 3 games. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm still saying it's a learning experience for all the coaches, especially for Schottenheimer, because basically this year is a training year for him. And the more success that he has early on, it will help him build, not just controlling the offense, but as well as what requires of the defense too. And now where a lot of the veterans and players hurt right now, this give us a chance to look at the young players to see what they got. Win, lose, or draw. Everybody on this team is still a learning experience. Now, if so happen, if they get on a winning streak, good for them. Or vice versa, they get on a losing streak, well, it's still a learning experience.
There it is. And I'm kind of with Champs here on the learning experience thing. Because, we fifth quarter talked about, we're going to have some learning pains and some and stuff with a rookie head coach. And I think you kind of see that stuff. With Schottenheimer being the head coach and the offensive coordinator, I don't know if we took Chicago lightly. Like Savage is still questioning that Chicago loss. And then the Panthers game, you're at home. How do you handle that? I mean, what was the score at first? Like 13-0 or 13, whatever it was, to 2 or whatever to start the game. Like, how do you start better? We got Sports Junkie in the house right here. How do you start the game better in that aspect of it and not be down so much? And then when you started clicking, then they're able to come back and tie some things up. And obviously then it was exchanging scores at that point. And then you got to see them inconsistent on the road. You got to see them, tie things up and keep up in a shootout in a 40-40 game. Then you go to the Jets and you get to blow them out, and your defense has 5 sacks before going into that game, and then 5 sacks leaving the game. So 10 on the year just in one game because of the 5 sacks on there. So it's like, are we growing as a franchise and as a team, or is just the roller coaster of the emotions that come with having a rookie head coach? He's been in the league a long time, and I think his coordination, the way he calls these games and the way he sets things up, I think that speaks volume. But it's how does he manage his defense, or does he just give Matt Eberflus the keys and say, here, this is your baby?
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Like what Champ was saying about it's a learning experience and stuff like that. That would be great if this was a college football team and next year we got 60, 70 kids coming back. But it's fair to say next year there's going to be 30 new faces on this team. At least 30 new faces on this team. So We're learning another offense, but we're looking how many guys we have on 1-year contracts, and we're not going to pay them.
Way too many.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's it's tough. It's a tough one.
Well, can I just want to add something to that. I think the good thing about that is my bad, champ. My fault. I didn't even see your hand, bro.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Vic.
I think the good thing about that with the learning and the training, even if those guys aren't here, you're creating a new system. So I don't think it's almost like a mechanic. He learned how to work on a car. He learned how to work on an engine. He can work on any of them. So even if a lot of those guys aren't here, Schottenheimer ain't just building a team. He's building himself as a head coach. He's teaching himself about situational football, how to deal with grown men on a bigger level, not just play calling, offensive side, play calling, making sure your defensive coordinator is calling the right plays, probably sometimes overstepping your defensive coordinator to make the play, which you might think is better. So I don't think it's just about training as far as the players. I think he's also in a training state himself. So even if a lot of those guys aren't here, I feel he'll be a better head coach next year because of the growing pains and everything he got to deal with this year. So I just want to say that part.
Yep. Are you liking that real quick, Chance, before you go? So are you liking the hire then from what you've seen in 5 weeks?
I'll put it like this. You can he don't talk as much, and you can see the maturity happening every game. He's chill on the sideline. He ain't panicking. Those early on clock management issues gone away. He's definitely managing that better. I think his play calling is much. His play calling is like spot play calling. Like he went from trying to make desperate play calling to play calling on certain downs. He make the right plays. Now, do the players always complete it sometimes? No, but I see his play calling maturing for where he's at on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I see him maturing way, way better. And I also think if you notice when he do something like silly, he don't do it again.
That's true.
He don't do it again. I don't think you'll see that play like CD did with CD again. CD won't run that again.
See, it's funny you say that, and I'm sorry again, Chance. Let me say this, and you can go. Is week 2, or was it week 3? One of those games, I can't remember what it was. It was before CD got hurt. He got hurt in the Bears game, so maybe that was the Bears game. We were talking about George Pickens running lazy routes, and you can see his body language was kind of down. And I said on PR Cowboys TikTok, I said Schottenheimer seems to be a watch and react coach. So if he sees something, he's gonna address it.
Yep.
And then you started seeing George Pickens get involved a little more. Go ahead, Savage.
I could be mistaken, but we ran the exact same CD Lamb play with Ryan Flournoy, and he got 10 yards on it.
What I think Fifth is trying to say, and he's not on to put words about it, is he's not going to run that with your number. He didn't run it with Pickens.
No,
he ran it with Flournoy.
Yeah, he ran it with. But I'm just saying he did. He ran that play again. Flournoy got 10-yard rush off of it.
Yeah. But I don't think he'll run it again with his number one guy. Go ahead, Champs.
I would hope.
Now, to be on what Savage said and what Phil said, yeah, I can definitely see the maturity of Schottenheimer, especially with the play calling right now. But if you notice, the Cowboys, if they can set what type of foundation they have this year, we're coming in next year with the draft and free agents, they would definitely know what type of players that they would need for whatever system that they're going to run. Now, I don't know if Eberflus is going to be here or not, but it all depends on him. He still got several more weeks to improve his resume with this team. Now, we have a lot of they can do a lot of maneuvering with the draft or trade, whatever, or free agents, but this right here would be the start. Like I said, I'm not really worried about Schottenheimer because you can look at the offensive line, even with 4 starters out, the offensive line is still, to me, they're playing at a high level, even though they're backups. You don't see that many mistakes like you did first. And because when you get the running game, whether it's going to be William next year or you get a draft one for next year, that should also be improved. But the bottom line is it's going to be on that defense. Whether or not, again, they're going to run the same Tampa 2 defense and try to get the players to fit for the scheme, or find somebody else and stick with that.
Okay. All right. No, that's good points, champs. We got Dallas Cowboy fan 1980 in the house. We got Recho Scotty in the house as well. Fifth quarter's back here live. Eshawn, Mike, you guys got anything to add to this topic?
No, man. You can go ahead.
Nah.
Okay. So Jonathan Mingo is in his 21-day window. Jalen Tolbert has been one of the guys that can make a big play every now and then. Just like Jalen Tolbert is who he is. And then we got Ryan Flournoy, who now, between Lamb, Pickens, and Flournoy, they're the only ones that have 100+ in their careers that are on this roster in the wide receiver room only. Not including tight ends, just wide receivers only. So knowing that, if you had to pick one guy to get cut today, and your only three options was Flournoy, Jonathan Mingo, and Tolbert, I'm going to snake it, so Fifth is going to go first. Which one of those guys would be cut first? Go ahead, Fifth.
Mingo.
Why?
Yeah. Tolbert been there a while. He might not be consistent enough, but he know that playbook in and out. We've seen him catch big plays. Maybe it might be 5-6 games a year, but in a big time situation, I would rather have somebody that know this playbook that can play with Dak for a few years, just for relatability, if not anything. Because I can't say Mingo. He ain't did much for this team, so I'm not just gonna pick him because I want to move on for Tolbert. I'm gonna pick Tolbert because he's been here. I don't know what Mingo can do with Dak, and Tolbert and Dak gotta, that was that guy. Now you had another name on there besides Mingo, I'd probably pick him. That been here, but Tolbert has been here. Mingo hasn't. So I will stick with the guy that's been here, that's been around, man.
Okay. Cowboy champs. Flournoy, Mingo, Tolbert. You have to cut one. Who you cutting?
Man, I'm leaning towards Tolbert. Just the fact that he's too inconsistent. Yeah, I know we don't know much about Mingo, but I think with Mingo's size, that's the only real way I'll keep him because of size. But with Tolbert's supposed to have been that receiver coming out of South Alabama. Supposed to have been that challenge the number one wide receiver, but as you see, he's too inconsistent.
Yep.
All right. Mike.
That's tough, between Tolbert and Mingo. I would actually have to say Tolbert, mainly because I feel like Jalen Tolbert has hit his ceiling. While Jonathan Mingo, we haven't really seen much of him, if not really anything at all. While Tolbert, he is who he is. Tolbert's not getting any better. He'll make like one good catch every 5 to 6 games, and then he'll be like a ghost. He'll completely disappear. I think I would go with Tolbert there, just because I think Tolbert has hit his ceiling, and I don't think he's going to get any better from here.
Eshawn.
I gotta go Mingo, man. I mean, just mainly for as inconsistent as Tolbert is. Okay, he's made a play here and there. I mean, I completely agree that he is wildly inconsistent, and I also agree that he has hit a ceiling. But for me, my answer has got to be Mingo, simply for the fact that I haven't seen anything from this guy, to be honest with you. So, we got him, last year? So, and I've seen maybe he's made one play here, but I haven't seen anything from him, man. So, to me, it's a wasted pickup, man. So I'd have to say Mingo.
Agreed.
Okay. Savage.
Definitely a tough question. I I would get, and it's tough, but I would get rid of Tolbert just because we've seen what we've seen of him. What, this is third season already?
Yeah.
And I think pretty much what you see is what you get. And like, trust me, I'm not giving a ringing endorsement for Minga because I mean we don't know anything about him, but that's the only wild card. And I think as crazy as it sounds, if Dallas was making this decision and they were just like, okay, well, we just gave up a fourth last year for this kid, and we've had Tolbert in a house for 3 years, and what really has he done? I think they would probably try to get rid of Tolbert or trade him at least or something. But he was a guy that they were super crazy excited for. He came over to Dak's house. Dak worked him out, gave him the seal of approval. But it's a tough question. It's definitely a tough one.
I would, yeah, no, it is, and that's why we're talking about it here on the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Everybody, click like if you haven't already. I would say Tolbert would be the guy that I cut. The Dallas Cowboys have been trying to get rid of Tolbert forever. Tolbert was on this team and they still drafted Ryan Flournoy. Tolbert was on this team and they still traded for Jonathan Mingo. Tolbert was on this team and they still drafted Jalen Brooks. They've been giving opportunity for Jalen Tolbert to show up for what? A couple of plays a game, the toe tap Terrence Williams special there in that Packers game. And then he hasn't done anything since that catch, right? So they've been trying to push this guy out, and injuries, other things have been happening. They brought in George Pickens because they knew Jalen Tolbert wasn't the guy.
Agreed.
So you got all these wide receivers coming in, and Tolbert is supposed to be your number 3 guy. You got Turpin ahead of him. You got Pickens ahead of him. You got CeeDee Lamb ahead of him. It's now time to move on. There's a saying that I have, and it's called roster garbage. And Jalen Tolbert, like Recho said there in the comments, is there any trade value? Shop them and see if there is. Shop them and see if there is, because I'm ready to see what Jonathan Mingo can do. And guess what? If we're in the same boat with Jonathan Mingo as we are with Jalen Tolbert, I know what Ryan Flournoy can do. You mean to tell me that Ryan Flournoy was able to get 100 yards in his limited opportunities, and Jalen Tolbert, with all his opportunities, has not even sniffed 3 digits in receiving?
Right. Yeah.
It's time for Jalen Tolbert to hit that door. Adios. Put the caution tape. Do not come back. Take his key card and let him hit back to South Alabama.
Yep, I agree.
I asked people to click like, and only one person did it. I'm going to ask you one more time.
Come on, man. Get the like button.
Come on.
Y'all can click like for your boy on the Corner of Crazy and Cowboys. Anybody got anything to add on the Flournoy Mingo Tolbert deal?
Nothing.
No. Fifth quarter Cowboys getting a lot of things. So news broke out. Miles Sanders went to IR. Stephen Jones broke the news today on 105.3 The Fan. Miles Sanders is no longer a Dallas Cowboy. IR. Signed a 1-year deal. His season was short, wearing a star. Now, Jadon Blue's getting the opportunity. Savage, we're snaking this, so you're first.
Shoot.
Are the Dallas Cowboys now in trouble, even with Javonte Williams on this team at the running back position?
I would say no, just because at this point you have, I mean, even Williams is the wild card, but you have 2 healthy young kids, Blue's healthy, Maffa, I think he had that, IR shoulder problem where they just, stashed him there because he was going to get poached 100%. Another team would have picked him up. I think we'll be fine. I just think the $1 million question is, how long is Williams going to be out there before he does get hurt? And I mean, like getting back to what we were saying earlier, Yo, Kansas City's out there looking for a running back. This team's out there looking for running backs. And he's on a 1-year contract, and I got 2 rookies. All I'm trying to say is if the season's going south and we lose the next few games, if you can get something for him, and I got no problem. I got no problem finishing the season with Blue and Maffa, and I can find somebody else off of somebody's roster as a third. I think the running back position will be fun.
Okay, Eshawn, is now Miles Sanders is an IR. You still got Phil Maffa on IR.
Yeah.
Where do you view the running back situation, knowing Javonte Williams is now your bell cow, but you got Jadon Blue here now behind him?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think as of right now, I wouldn't say that they're in trouble right now for the simple fact that Williams has been playing really well so far. Now, his injury history being a thing, I mean, you never know if and when that may happen. So, I mean, that is a question mark. I agree with Savage on that. But, I mean, as of now, he's on the field and he's been playing well. So, I mean, and I'm banking on that for, up until I see otherwise. And with Blue, we are yet to see Blue, and we're yet to see how they use him. So, I mean...
we have seen Blue. Four carries, 7 yards.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen him. I take that back.
He played last week.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, okay, that's my fault. That's my mistake, but might have just been me not watching the game. But nonetheless, I still want to see more from him, and I think all of us want to see more from him. So, but I mean, to the question, I don't think we're in trouble right now for the simple fact that Williams has been playing well. So, we'll see what happens in the future, but I think we're good right now.
Yeah.
What do you think, champs?
Right now, this is kind of early right now. I prefer if Maffa was playing, but since he's not, with Blue, don't run him up the middle. You have to really use him more on the outside. And in the passing game, use him in the flats. You can't just wait for him to be open. Just as soon as he get like he's doing a curl route, the ball should be gone. The ball should be in his hand. Let him do what he can do. If you're gonna limit him to the middle, and what you gotta do, limit him because he's not the type of runner Williams is. That's why he was 4 for 7.
Okay. What do you think, Mike?
I would say no. Javonte Williams has played very well up to this point. Miles Sanders was terrible. I'll do respect to Miles Sanders. He was not good at all. And that's kind of my take on it. We still have yet to see how Jadon Blue does, despite him having a bit of an underwhelming preseason performance and also having a bit of an underwhelming 4-carry, 7-yard performance. I feel like if we do use Blue correctly, I feel like there could be something there, but I am liking what I'm seeing from Javonte Williams, but let's just pray that Javonte Williams stays healthy. But Miles Sanders really just did not make a difference at all for this team. The thing that I remember the most about Miles Sanders so far was him fumbling that ball week 1 against the Eagles, which ultimately lost us the game. So that's kind of my take on that. But no, I don't think we're in trouble right now.
All right, Fifth. The question is, now that Miles Sanders is an IR and Jadon Blue is now the number 2 guy, Phil Maffa still on IR, Hunter Lepke's being used more as a fullback. How do you view this running back room now? Oh, well, crap.
Okay, he must have left.
Yeah. So hold on, since we're on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
So T Green, I get it. You're a Panthers fan, and I get every given Sunday. But you just told me that Dak hasn't played this defense yet. Dallas Cowboys played a 3rd-ranked defense in the Packers, and we put 40 in. Your defense here is ranked number 12. You allow 111 yards a game. You're 19th in allowing almost 24 points a game. Your offense is ranked 24th. I don't know what we're supposed to be scared of. And I get it. It's any given Sunday. But your defense, sure, you got some good interior guys. Your corners are kind of sus. Let's be real. I I think you got one good linebacker there. I really don't see what the hoodlaw here is. T Green.
Agree.
Your stats don't mean anything, but you are how you play, and your defense. Your defense is middle of the pack, and our offense is number one. I mean, we'll find out on Sunday, but to say that Dak hasn't seen this defense, I think he has, and I think he's seen better.
We'll find out Sunday. We'll find by hook or by crook. They're going to play on Sunday, man. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, fifth quarter left, and champs left too. So here we go, guys. Savage is going to hate this topic. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Boom. Sources. The Dallas Cowboys standout linebacker DeMarvion Overshown is nearing a return to practice, and the team expects to open his window later this month with the goal of having him playing in November. Overshown tore his ACL, his PCL, and his MCL last year amid a breakout season in which he recorded 84 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble return, 8 tackles for losses, and 1 defensive touchdown. So that'd been the 1 fumble return. So since we're snaking this, we're going backwards. So Savage is going to be last on this topic. Eshawn, seeing that, knowing that Overshown's coming next month, how does that make you feel?
Man, I got to be honest, man. I don't like it, man. It's just he's been hurt pretty much all the seasons he's played, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think that. I mean, we're gonna make the playoffs this year. I think by November we're gonna have a bad record. Now that's anyone's guess at this point, but I don't really see a value in bringing him back personally. I mean, I get it but I don't know. For me personally, it's just given his injury history, and when did he get hurt last year? It was later in the year.
December,
right? So not even a full calendar year. And he got hurt that bad. It's I don't know, man. I mean, I think I feared that they would rush him back. I think it's rushing him back, so I can't say I'm necessarily surprised that they're planning to bring him back, but I don't really like that they are going to do that to him. So that's just me right there. But
what do you think, Mike?
You know, I do have that fear of rushing him back and him potentially being injured again, but he does give a spark to this defense. And to be honest, he's one of the only players who I feel like I can truly trust in this defense. And whenever he does come back this season, Overshown is pretty much the leader of this defense. He's our best player on the defensive side of the ball, and I do think him returning will give a spark on this team. But like Eshawn said, I do also have those fears about him potentially getting hurt again, because he was out all of his rookie season with a torn ACL. I think it was a torn ACL, and then last year or back in December of last year, he tears his ACL, MCL, and what the other CL, I don't remember, but yeah, I do worry about him potentially getting hurt, but we'll see what happens.
There it is. Now, the moment I've been waiting for.
Here we go.
Danny Savage, the draft guru. How does this make you feel?
I want to vomit, because he's someone's son. Could be a father, and he got both his knees opened up when he got hurt last year, and it was, I believe it was week 14. They even went into his other knee, so he got both his knees opened up. If we're looking to build any future for this team, listen, if Dallas rips off 8 or 9 wins in a row, yeah, I'd be the first one to say, yeah, throw him out there. But it's not, man. This is just all Jerry bullshit, smoke and mirrors. You notice Sharon Ravel with his knee. Well, we haven't heard about him in a few weeks. So, okay, we got to talk about somebody. Mike is not here no more. So let's talk about Overshown. All I'm trying to say is, if you bring Overshown back at that point in the season late, and he has another issue with that knee that late, you should just cut him at that point, because his 4th year is going to be a joke. But if you put him out there now, in the middle of this defense, he ain't gonna know what hits him. I would just say, yo, let him get bigger, let him get stronger, and he doesn't even know this defense. He's never played a snap of it. It's it's learning on the fly. I get it, but if you're trying to build a team, but then you're trying to push him out there, it's not something I would do. Let's just say.
See, if he's coming back November, and I'm looking at our schedule, it all depends on what our record is. Because if we can have a winning record, and we're forecasting to maybe actually do something, then I'm like, okay, how can we play him but be safe? I don't need him to be a 60 down guy. I need Overshown to maybe be a second and a long guy, a third and a long guy, a blitz guy, something like that. I don't need him to play every single stinking down. I don't need him to play on special teams. How can I have his impact felt? But I only want that is if we're a true contender and not a pretender. If we're a pretender, absolutely no way. Shut him down immediately, and we'll see you next year. But that maybe I'm selfish, but that's the only way I want to see Overshown.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think you can say the same thing with our third round pick.
With Rebel, yeah.
His
window's open.
His window's open, but they all said he's going to be starting week 1. And then, he had a setback.
Oh, no, his window ain't open. I'm sorry. That's Kalen Carson's window that's open. Mingo and Carson's windows are the only windows that's open.
But before the season started, they were like, oh, Ravel's going to be out there. Even though I believe it was September 29th, he hurt his knee. And they usually, wait a month for the swelling to go down before they go in. So, how about if he has a setback late in the season?
I think he already had his setback, Savage. Last time we seen Chevelle Rebel was on a clip where he jumped and he tweaked his knee again. We have not seen Rebel in a video, in a clip, in a highlight since that day.
Wait a second. You said he was on a cliff jumping?
No, he was on a clip.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on a clip jumping. He tweaked that knee. It didn't look good. He started limping a little bit. We haven't seen him since.
Yeah, it could be worse than that because Dallas ain't going to say the truth. They'll just leave that lingering out there that, people talk about. But if we're, like you said, it all depends on the schedule. But I
got one question for you. I'm taking this question. I stole it from another channel. And that's okay. I want to ask Savage here. If Kalen Carson comes back, do you play him on the outside or do you play him as a nickel?
Who are my choices on the outside? Him and Elam? You know what I'm trying to say?
It'll be Diggs and Bland on the outside.
Then I'd rather see Carson over Elam because he's just a.
So you're saying nickel?
Yeah.
What about you, Eshawn?
Yeah, no, I gotta agree. If Diggs and Black, look, I'm not happy with how Diggs is playing, but given the options, man, I gotta agree with Savage, just like Carson over Elam. So I would say nickel as well.
Yeah.
Mike, outside or nickel?
I'd say outside. I don't really have much of a take on that question, but honestly, any corner is better than fucking Elam. Excuse my language, but that's kind of my take on that.
Yeah, Nate Dogg, he does. Butler does play outside. All right. So let's look at the injury report real quick, guys. How about that? Let's look at the injury report real quick.
That's good.
And then we're going to talk about a guy here. We're all back home. We're going to stay on the defense side of the ball. Bam! There it is, guys.
Wow.
So we got Tyler Booker. He's officially out. CeeDee Lamb's officially out. Jack Sanborn's officially out. Miles Sanders is IR. Kevontae Turpin's officially out. Deron Bland, Kalen Carson, AJ Cornelius, Trayvon Diggs, Marshawn Nealon, Jonathan Mingo, Tyler Smith are all questionable. And then if you're a full participant, you're probably playing. So there's that. I don't like the fact that I see Jonathan Mingo as a full participant, and then they shut him down the last 2 days. What the hell happened there? I don't like that. That scares the crap out of me. 18 on the injury list. 17 now that Miles Sanders went to IR. Since we're snaking this, Savage. 18 on the injury list. What's your reaction to that?
So early in the season, that's really bad. Really, really bad. Because what's that going to look like come December? And
Right.
if Tyler Smith, if he's on that now, the only other guy we got is the kid we picked up from Philly, the kid Trevor Keegan from Michigan, who I believe is strictly a left guard, period. Because he's not that great of an athlete, but he's a goon. And he didn't allow a sack in 3 years at Michigan, but I didn't even know about Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. I mean, if Tyler Smith can't go, I mean, the only real guy we got out there was Steele. That could get ugly. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Last week we had Nate Thomas, Abendaji, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, and Steele. So, you know, and the offensive linemen they're playing against the Jets, it is what it is. But I thought they held their own.
Yeah.
But Mike, what's your reaction to that injury report?
Yeah, I'm looking at these injuries right now on Instagram, and man, it's 18 injuries. The good thing it is the Panthers we're playing, but if we play a much more difficult opponent as the season goes on, that's very concerning to see. I mean, especially Bland and Diggs. Both of them are very injury prone. You know, that's kind of my take on that. And I heard earlier that CeeDee Lamb could return this week, but thankfully he's not. I'm like, thank goodness, because that's a player we can't simply rush back. But yeah, it's a lot of injuries, and I don't really know how to feel about that, to be honest. It's very concerning all around.
Yeah, Eshawn?
No, I mean I agree with Mike and with Savage, man. It's like 18 injuries is a lot of injuries, man, especially this early in the season, like Savage said, and it's just I don't know, man. It's just this medical staff, man, is just I don't know if it was, you know, it's the ACLs and you know this many injuries, man. I just don't know. I mean, what is this now? Week 5? So like, and you have 18 injured players. Come on, man. I mean, that's just I don't even know how to I don't even know how to react to that. To be honest, it's like it's just not good, man. That's just too many injured players for this early in the season. So
Yeah.
When I look at the injury report, I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, hey, look, Tyler Booker did not participate. He's out ankle. He'll come back. Okay, with the ankle, he'll come back. It was an ankle sprain. CeeDee Lamb, ankle sprain, he'll be back. Jack Sanborn, concussion, he'll be back. Sanders is IR. Turpin is a foot injury. There's a possibility he might not come back, but there is a big possibility that he might. And then it gets less serious after that with Bland. It's just typical football Nick stuff. But when you see guys that have been injured before, like Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, when you see guys that have been injured before, that kind of scares me. That's a blinking light for me. I'm hoping that we can get healthy at the right time. What is the right time, right? And all the right time depends on what we do against these Packers, what we do against these Commanders, what we do against these the Broncos, and then the Cardinals, and then we got the bye week. How do we look in the next month, and then how do we look after the bye? That is what's going to matter about what this injury report looks like then. Because if this thing is longer, we'll probably have a losing record. If it's shorter, we could probably win more games. What do you guys think?
No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I
agree. It comes down to how we play, man.
That's fair.
All right, last topic. James Houston. The guy worked out for the Dallas Cowboys before training camp. He's had a bunch of injuries in his career. He had like 8.5 sacks his rookie year with the Lions, and he only played like 20% of the snaps in those 8 sacks, right? So, with James Houston leading the Dallas Cowboys in 3.5 sacks, Eshaun, how does Matt Eberflus keep that going and keep James Houston on the field more? Like, what does he have to do?
Well, I mean, so he's a defensive end. Is he interior lineman? I'm unfamiliar. So, is he a pass rusher? I'm a little bit unfamiliar. So, can you?
Yeah, he's an end.
He's an end. Okay. So, I mean, as far as what he can do to like keep up the pass rush, I guess. I mean, I just don't know, man. I mean, with the level of talent that we have on the defensive line, that he can really do much else. To be completely honest, it's like I just don't think that we have the personnel, man. I know you're like big. I know you love Osa, but I don't know. I'm not. And he had a sack last week, so I mean, props to him on that. But it's just
Set the tone.
but I don't know, man. There's just too much. I just don't think the talent is there, frankly, just in my opinion, to like really do any. Savage has said it that I don't even think Bill Parcells or any of these defensive legends could really coach up this defense. So like with Eberflus, I don't really know what else he can do, man. I mean, it's just with this level of talent. That's just me, but it's something might sound like a little bit of a cop out answer, but I scratching my head just thinking about it. So
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mike, how does Matt Eberflus keep James Houston going?
One thing before I make my answer, James Houston has more sacks than Micah Parsons does this year.
really,
Yes. But James Houston has had a very solid year so far, but there's just so many concerns with this defense. I mean, it's like what everyone said, this defense has a bunch of no names on it. And there's just we don't really have that elite player on the defensive side of the ball. So that's kind of my concern there. It's like Eshaun said, I don't think even Bill Parcells or even Belichick could do well with how little talent there is on the defensive side of the ball. So that's kind of my take on that.
There it is. Danny Savage, the draft guru. James Houston, 3.5 sacks, team leader. How does Matt Eberflus keep that going?
With his injury history, just keep him on a pitch count. Don't expect too much out of him. Don't put him out there to get pounded, and just keep doing what you're doing with him. But don't just leave him out there to get teed off on.
Okay, no, that's true. For me, I'm kind of with Nate Dogg here. Houston and Clark has been the best players on the defense. Both have spent the least amount of time with us. That says a lot about the coaching on defense, and he's 100%.
No,
I would figure out a pass rush package with Houston, Clark, Oso Digizua, and then I need another guy. Who can be the other guy? Dante Fowler finally looked like he was starting to come on. And played his best game against the Jets. Do we see some type of consistency with that? We know Sam Williams isn't really the guy there. Is how do I get the best 4 guys? And for me, it's James Houston, it's Kenny Clark, it's Osa, and there's one guy missing. Does Jerry go trade for Trey Henderson from the Bengals? To be determined. We'll find out.
Did it Clowney?
Clown, he's already on the injury report.
he's already on the injury report.
Ezeraku.
Ezeraku is coming around for the run defense, not necessarily pass rush.
Yeah.
Which is weird considering his size.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Savage.
I would not be trading any picks for any players because we're not close. I'm sorry. And the kid Hendrickson from Cincy, he's 30 years old. I'm going to give up a first-round pick for a 30-year-old.
No, you don't got to give up a first. I don't think you got to give up a first. I think you got to give up a second.
I wouldn't even give up a second for a 30-year-old. So, because then our 2 best players on the defensive line will be 30-year-old Hendrickson, then Clark will be a year older. He'll be 31. Nah, if you got a young team, build. I'd rather go get young players. That's just me.
If the Cowboys, let me ask you this, Savage, just so I can gauge where you're at. If the Cowboys were 5-0 and we needed a pass rusher, would you do it then?
I wouldn't have a problem.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that makes sense. All right, guys, here it is. That's almost the end of the show here. Savage,
Shoot.
you got a final topic or you got a final thought?
Nah, just like, should they beat them? Yes, but we all thought the Chicago Bear game was,
A gimme. Yeah.
a gimme. But
Yeah.
I just don't think this team is. You could say they would give me to beat anybody. So they should beat them. But honestly, if Carolina did win, I wouldn't be shocked. This is the season where honestly nothing would shock me anymore. And let's just see. Hopefully nobody from Carolina has their coming out game against us. Because it just seems like,
Right.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle.
Mike, final topic, final thoughts.
You were bringing up Trey Hendrickson. I've been also hearing about Max Crosby's name being thrown about, and when people do that, I'm like, come on, that's not happening. The Cowboys always get linked to these names, and then almost 100% of the time, it never happens. It kind of bugs me when I see people doing that, to be honest. But on Sunday, I'm just hoping for a clean game, no penalties, no turnovers, no allowing big plays. I just want a clean, inconsistent game on Sunday, and we better stop Rico Dowdle too. Because Rico Dowdle was like saying, "Oh, y'all better buckle up." It's like, come on, when we see players talk shit like that, they don't really back it up. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just looking for a clean and consistent game from this team.
There it is. Eshawn, you got a final topic? You're gonna say final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I got a final topic, man. I was gonna ask. So do you guys have someone you're gonna be looking at specifically in the game, and like who? If so, like who are you looking at? Why? Like, what are you expecting from them? What do you want to see from them? If there's anyone specific. I'll snake it. So start with Mike, man.
That's a very, very good question. That's a really tough question. There's not really a lot to see, but if I had to pick a player who I'll be watching for, I would probably say Jadon Blue because of Miles Sanders getting injured. I am interested to see in what he could potentially do. But I do have those concerns with two underwhelming performances that he's had. But he is going to be the player that I will be watching, and hopefully Nate Thomas will be starting this week because I trust Nate Thomas more than Guyton and Steele. So I would say Jadon Blue is going to be the player who I'm going to try to watch for.
Next, Savage.
I always watch the trenches first. So if Nate Thomas is out there, I'll be watching him. And then if it all depends on Tyler Smith's ankle, if he's out, then it would be Trevor Keegan, and I'd be looking at him. And then third, it would be Blue. I just hope they use him right, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And go ahead, Savage. Sorry,
No, that's about it, really.
Cool. Corner man, talk to me, man.
Oh, no, guys hit the good players around the head, but for me, Kenneth Murray's playing middle linebacker this week, all right? And that's going to determine how well Rico Dowdle runs on us. Can Kenneth Murray Jr. identify and the gaps he has to hit, know the gaps he has to hit, and can he execute that gap at a high level? I think if Kenneth Murray Jr. can play Mike better than Jack Sandberg, maybe you don't see Jack Sandberg come back. You got Shamir James and you got Maris Luafau on the field playing the Sam and the Will spot. So if Kenneth Murray Jr. can play the Mike at a high level and really disrupt some things there, look for Jack Sandberg to stay on the bench when he comes back.
Nice. Yeah, I think for me it's Jadon Blue for me, man. I'm curious to see more from him. It's also like, I mean, I mistook that he was even on the field. So, so I think for those two reasons, I got to go with Jadon Bloom, and I'm curious to see what he does with it, what he does on the Panthers game. Man.
There it is. And then Cool Cowboy's about to give his final thoughts. For the show. Cool Cowboy, what's your final thoughts, brother?
My final thoughts would be I know we have a lot of injuries, but we still should take care of these Panthers. I mean, Bryce Young, he's no good. Ted Rowe McMillan, I'm glad he did not fall to us. Their defense is atrocious outside of Derek Brown and J.C. Horn. And so I'm expecting a similar performance to the Jets game. And hopefully, if the defense does not show anything this week, then it will not happen for the rest of the year, because this is by far the easiest offense we're going to face all year. So, yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Yeah, the Panthers offense is ranked 24th, so they better figure something out. But, guys, thank you for coming on this special edition of Talking Crazy. Maybe next week we'll be back at regular programming, scheduling. Next Saturday, I don't know what the heck Preacher Fitz doing. He's slacking on his content, but I'm going to take advantage of it, because when he slacks, I get my Saturday nights off. So, see you guys after the Panthers game. Cowboy Nation, are you in the Cowboys Corner? Peace.
Easy, guys.
Peace out, guys.